bicycle touring friends. It's bicycle touring talk again. My name is George Schlacke, and I'm happy to present you with another episode about our ride across Colombia. When we left off the last time, Barbara and I had just spent the better part of a day in Aguachica, a small city in the district of Cesar. We had really enjoyed the stay, but felt the need to keep going because our time in Colombia was limited. On the morning of January 25th, again very early, we left our hotel downtown, aiming to get back onto Route 45 North, La Ruta del Sol. We were planning to have breakfast once we were oriented in the right direction. What surprised us here was a really good bike lane leading pretty much all the way through town on the major road. Colombia's big cities like Bogota and Medellin are well known for their bike infrastructure, which puts most of North American cities to shame. But Aguachica isn't that big. It honestly blew my mind. We found a nice place to have breakfast on the outskirts of town. The bike lane eventually faded into a regular paved shoulder, which was a sure sign that we were leaving the town behind. Then it was back to riding on highway shoulders. The first few kilometers were uphill and quite challenging. The reward was this amazing lookout.
Good morning, everyone. Up and on us. So we're just leaving Aguachica. What it means is little river off of the big one there. But you see the road down there? Somehow we're going to wrap around from where we are at the top and loop down, and we're headed, I think, in that direction. But isn't this gorgeous? It was a bit of a climb this morning. Beautiful country. And the temperature right presently is 27 degrees. By 1 o'clock it should be around 36 degrees. So we are going to be about 48 kilometers this morning.
We were looking at mountains, but was this gonna be our big challenge for that day? Actually, no. The mountains stayed to our right, and the highway continued with moderate rolling hills and a nice wide shoulder for us to travel on. At first, it was a 4-lane expressway. Then there were sections where the highway was or had been under construction, which allowed us, again, to use the side that hadn't been finished yet. I'm not sure if it goes on, eh? It made for a very good day overall. Well, there was a flat tire.
I don't know if you're going to hear any of this video, but this is George. He got his first flat tire.
It was my first one of the entire trip, thanks to debris from blown truck tires. Many of you will be familiar with the thin but super hard wire strands that are used to reinforce those tires. They're good at piercing through bicycle tires.
There it is. See? Right there.
Oh yeah, you could barely see it, but it's big enough it went right through the tire.
Some of you have recommended puncture-proof tires to me. Thanks for that. They sure seem to be like a great idea, especially on those long trips. But I also know that I can probably buy 5 regular tires for the price of 1 Schwalbe Marathon. The regular, cheap tires have been working well enough for us, and in some cases they're actually a lot tougher than some of the higher end tires with really thin and flexible sidewalls. Why am I talking tires all of a sudden? At this point I have to admit that there's a whole lot of footage I thought I had that went missing. When I recall the tour, I first noticed that 1 or 2 of my memory cards were missing a few days later. I know that we made it to Pelaya that day and stayed at a small hotel right in the center across from the market. Unfortunately, I cannot show you what it looked like, but after a while, Colombian budget hotels all start to look very similar. Again, I fixed a punctured tube in the room using the water in the toilet tank to locate the leak. Later, we went to scope out the huge, busy market and have supper there. That was it for the day. The next day was January 26th, 2019 to be precise. We started early once again. A short while into the ride, we passed a sign indicating that Santa Marta was now just 309 kilometers away. The ride went smoothly until the heat once again caught up with us. When the temperature rises to near 40 Celsius or 100 Fahrenheit in perfect sunshine, it feels like you're getting fried alive. Even layers of sunscreen didn't change that, except that I remember getting some in my eyes every so often. That burns in a much different way. The road changed from 4-lane expressway to construction zones we could ride. To some we could not. There were also plenty of 2-lane sections, but for the most part, the shoulders were a bit wider here than in other parts we had seen. As you can see on the screenshot of the Google map, even today this highway is still under construction. We covered about 66 kilometers that day and made it to Corumani, where we stayed in a hotel in the outskirts of town. I was convinced I had photos and or footage of this gorgeous place, but it's missing. All I can show you is this screenshot of Google Maps Street View. The place had a pool and it was really nice. But again, this was mainly a truck stop motel with a huge dusty parking lot. We arrived fairly early here and spent a couple of hours just relaxing in the air-conditioned room. When we realized how much time had passed, we decided to skip the pool for now and walk into town, which was still a couple of kilometers, for some groceries and to have supper there. It was already dark when we were done. To return to the hotel, we took a tuk-tuk, one of those 3-wheel taxis that are so common in Central and South America. We were really tired and never made it into the pool that night. As usual, route planning was easy as far as following La Ruta del Sol goes. But it was hard for us to determine exactly how far we would make it each day. We knew too little about the places ahead of us and wanted to be able to pick places based on what we saw in real time, not on a map. We were definitely due for a rest day and briefly considered staying in Corumani. It was a perfect place, but then we decided again to keep moving. Were we going to take another rest day? Was there a place we simply couldn't pass by? I'll tell you about such a place in the next episode. Promise. It eventually popped up where we least expected it. I'm hoping you'll gently touch the like button for this video. It really helps a great deal keeping this channel afloat. If you're not subscribed yet, welcome to my growing community. You can be part of it for free and without any commitment. I hope you'll join me again next week. It was still a long way to Santa Marta, and it wasn't all smooth sailing. See you soon.